Josh Johnson Show. I'm Josh Johnson, joined by my co-host, fellow stand-up comedian Logan Nielsen. Logan, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing all right, man. If you're listening, you think, man, Josh sounds like he's in a cave. It's actually a WeWork. It's not a cave.
Yeah, I did not see this coming. I did not think that my week would go like this, but I am in a WeWork.
Yeah.
And that's where we're recording from.
That's what we do. That's what we do to try to make it a weekly episode. We'll even just have to go, and I can just see people walking around behind you.
Yeah. One day we will have to record in a cave.
Me and that guy behind you in the hallway just made eye contact.
Yep.
Well, hey, man, do you want to open up the mailbag?
I would love to.
Let's do it. Ooh, which one do I want to go first? I got a whole collection here. Do you want to I don't know, do you want to throw me a number, or do you want me to just pick one at random?
Go with number 3.
Number 3. Here we go. All right, this is the third one I have here. This one is just called Realizing Aldi is Not Aldo. And this is from Claire. Hi, Josh and Logan. I'm so glad I found your pod after watching Josh's stand-up. I've been absolutely binging the show from episode 1. Anyway, it was only in the 10th episode or so when I realized that I was getting Aldi mixed up with Aldo, the shoe store. I didn't know there was a shoe store called Aldo. Did you know that?
Yep.
Okay. So because Josh mentioned something about groceries. So you kind of threw it for a loop then. Upon Googling it, I realized my mistake, but also I can't imagine Josh selling shoes. So anyway, hold on. Why do you think can't imagine you selling shoes? What do you think you're lacking to
shoe salesman energy, I think.
Yeah.
I think if I tried to sell you a shoe, it wouldn't seem like I really had shoes in the back.
Yeah, it sounds like you just want to see my feet.
Yeah. I'm like, oh, you look like a size 10. I think you'd just be creeped out.
Yeah. Just let me go pause on it. Let me feel around. So anyway, I had a question for y'all. Are there any basic things that you were confused about for a long time or mistook for something else? Like how Logan thought might as well was mind as well. Thanks for brightening my day during stressful times and always making me laugh way too hard in the streets. Signed, Claire. Thank you, Claire.
Do you want to go first?
I don't know if I have any of them left to say. I feel like we've already revealed so many of the things we were wrong about.
Did I already tell you about hummus?
I don't think so.
So this is embarrassingly recent that I found this out.
Okay.
I found this out when I was like 23 or 4.
Okay.
So I didn't know what hummus was because I didn't grow up eating hummus. We didn't have a lot of Mediterranean dishes in Louisiana to begin with. And then as a family, no one ever cooked like that or made that stuff or bought those pre-made meals.
Right.
So I didn't grow up with like baba ganoush or like any of these things. Mm-hmm. And so I came across hummus for the first time at a picnic when I was still pretty little, and I just didn't try any of it. But I saw all of the white people clamoring it wasn't like it was a brawl, but they went right for it, you know, and they kept talking about it. They were like, oh, the hummus was delightful. They were just going on and on about the hummus. And then, years later, it didn't come up for years. And then I was at another function and there was hummus. And by that point, I knew I didn't like white sauces. Like I didn't like mayo. I didn't like a lot of the, and I was very weird about creaminess. So I even started eating guac a little bit late because the texture, I didn't like it at first when I was little. And then it took me a while to fall in love with it, you know?
That kind of makes sense for what I know about your finicky food habits. Yeah.
So then it's not until I start working at Trader Joe's that I am like, oh, no, it's right before Trader Joe's. So in college, I just finally asked someone because, I went to college with a lot of white people as well. And so they would just go on about hummus and how like hummus was their favorite snack, like hummus and chips or hummus and celery. And so I was like, what is hummus? And they were like, it's chickpeas. And I was like, oh, okay, just mashed up. They're like, it's mashed up chickpeas. I'm like, just mashed up chickpeas? They're like, yeah, okay. And it's not until I start working at Trader Joe's and I'm stocking the shelves that I see a can of how do you pronounce it? What are they? It's like it's even another word for chickpea.
Another word for chickpea?
Yeah, I can't think of it right. Garbanzo bean,
Oh,
right?
okay, okay.
Yeah, because chickpeas are also garbanzo beans. Is that right?
I don't know if that one's true.
That
I
may
I,
not. They
I
not. That
can't
may not
back
be
you up
right.
on that. I can't.
But anyway, I'm putting up garbanzo beans. I'm putting up chickpeas, like all this stuff. And it's not until I hold the can of chickpeas and see the picture of the chickpeas as I'm stocking it that I'm like, oh, mashed up chickpeas. So I thought all this time, as long as I've asked what hummus was and thought I knew what hummus was, that hummus was battered, like beat to death, mushed up baby chickens. Because I thought a
Interesting.
chickpea was a chicken baby.
Interesting. You.
And so I was so
Whoa.
disgusted by hummus.
Whoa.
And I
So
was
you
so disgusted by people who ate hummus because I was like, you're just eating battered babies.
wait. So okay, hang on. So you not only do you think it was ground up chicks, but you thought chickpea was the name of chicks, like the
I
of baby
thought
chick.
chickpea was the name of chicks.
So this was several things. This was a
This is so many layers deep of wrong that's why the story was boring at first because I had to take you all the way back to like, okay, here's hummus, then here's chickpeas,
yes.
then here's beans, and then because then some hummuses aren't even chickpeas. They're like there's one that's like it's got a different name, but essentially a hummus with a different bean.
Right. Yeah.
But yeah, I used to think way too old. Like we're talking 20. I would be at a party and I'd see hummus and I'd be like, why would you?
Wow.
And I didn't even try it until I found out it was mashed up beans.
Well, and listen, to throw
And
myself
it
out
has
there.
the same thing as pate. It has the same look as pate.
Oh, pate. He had to
from
get
afar.
he had to go high class on me about pate now all of a sudden.
Now, but isn't pate mashed up chicken?
I
That's
think
actually
so.
mashed up
Yes.
chicken, right?
I think so. It's mashed
So
up.
I also thought that it was mashed up babies because of pate. So I was sure people were out here eating dead bird baby and loving it and bragging about it. And so I was like, man, people are gross. This is crazy.
Yeah, it's like poultry caviar, kind of, if you think about it.
That's exactly what I thought it was. I thought it was like chicken caviar, which I'm sure is a thing that people love that are rich.
I think that's just scrambled eggs.
No.
I think that's what chicken caviar is. It's just scrambled eggs.
No. I'm talking about some bougie. We made the chicken think it was gonna have a wonderful life, and then we stole the dreams out of it.
Yeah. Well, I will say, I had one during the telling of that story because I did not know chickpeas and garbanzo beans were the same thing. I didn't know that. I thought they were totally different because I never even really put it together that chickpea was a bean. Makes sense. It's a pea. That pea is a type of bean, basically. So I just had one during that story. Yeah. But you also reminded me of a different one of that type of food, I remember. Because I was thinking back, I'm like, oh, yeah, what did I think of hummus? Because I didn't know what it was for a long time either because we just didn't have it, growing up in, rural Midwest. So kind of come from the same place. But I remember at a time when there was, it was actually at film school, and it was like a dinner for this like one of the school film festivals that I had to film in, and we won an award, no big deal. But was there, and I remember they had food there, and it was like like hummus, and they also had falafel there. And I realized in that moment I'd never actually had falafel before. Because when I bit into it, I really was kind of expecting, because you know how they look like they're little brown balls, I really, in my head, when I was about to bite it, I was preparing to basically be tasting like a hush puppy from Long John Silver's.
Yeah, it's just a Greek hush puppy.
Yeah, but wildly different flavor combinations. So I remember I bit into it and was shocked. It wasn't bad, but I was shocked, where I almost like spit it up because my brain was so prepared for something else.
So,
and I don't think it's gross. I like it. It was just when you're not prepared, when you're thinking it tastes like something entirely different.
So when I was when I was in, it had to be like the second grade. We were having lunch, and a kid thought that his mom packed him, um, orange juice, and she had packed him a chocolate milk, but it was in a little thermos to keep it cool.
Mm-hmm.
And so he opens up his ice box and he goes to drink it, and he almost chokes on it, not just because it's the opposite of what he could imagine. Because if you're
Yeah.
thinking, if you've prepared your mouth, if your brain has told your mouth, hey, we're about to witness the tanginess of orange juice, all right?
Yeah.
And the particular orange juice that you drink at home, right? So we're talking about, hey, maybe you're an Ocean Spray kid, maybe
That's true.
you're a Sunny D child,
Yeah.
But this kid goes to take a drink and almost chokes because not only is chocolate milk hitting his mouth and he's confused, but he also choked because he went to say what while he was drinking. So he goes to take a sip. We're talking at the table, and then we just hear him say what, like he's at the bottom of a lake. And that's what I thought of when you bit into the falafel. Just what?
It kind of was. I about went and and then even had to take a second, collect myself, and be like, it didn't taste bad. I just wasn't prepared.
I remember I once had liver at a restaurant they had this weird thing where instead of just one big entree, they would give you two things that could be considered an entree, but they give you smaller portions, and then they give you a bigger side and then a dessert. So it's almost like you're showing up to this restaurant to get a TV dinner, because the portions, I appreciate the portions because they were manageable. It actually felt like a European restaurant because not only were they cooking very well, but you left feeling full without feeling sick and cleaning your plate at the same time.
Big, yeah.
Like a lot of times in America, if you stop when you're full, you look like you've wasted a dinner.
Oh, for sure. Especially
You
like
know?
in the Midwest. I told somebody about that, of just like food portions here are just like, even if you order something healthy, the salad's coming out in a wheelbarrow. Like it's not. Actually, I might have said that on the
Exactly.
show. Maybe I'll cut that out. I may have said that on our very show.
But basically, I got like a liver and something else, and it was finally time to taste the liver, and I didn't even close my mouth. I cut a piece, I put it on my tongue, it hit my tongue, and I was like, oh. And I let it fall right out of my mouth.
Yeah, it's upsetting, especially when you have an experience like that at a restaurant, because then you want to also make sure you're not making a show of it, but also get it out of my mouth. Speaking of experiences at restaurants, you ready for this next email?
Oh yeah.
It'll make sense. But this is from Anna. I believe this is our old friend Elsa Anna, because they mentioned Sweden here. So from Elsa, hey guys, love your show. It lifts me up on rainy days. I can relate to Josh's friend. She is a trooper. The friend she is referencing is the friend from episode 99 who went on the date with the ventriloquist.
Yeah.
So she is relating to this friend. Long story short, I was on a date with this gentleman, well-dressed, polite, and attentive. But pretty quick during dinner, at a nice place, he brings up his fascination for feet.
Oh God. I was imagining so many other things besides feet.
Feet was his kink. I wasn't shocked, but more surprised by the topic, and feet is not my kink. Well, he slides down from his stool, trying to be discreet, grabs...
I want you. We should do a reading. We should do a reading of you reading erotica half a sentence at a time.
Get ready for that Patreon bonus.
Because the story is already not sexy, but it's so much less sexy when you stop to be like, try to be discreet.
Well,
oh God,
he slides. Wonder how soundproof those WeWork booths are.
I hope not at all.
Well, he slides down from his stool, trying to be discreet, grabs my feet, pulls off my open toe heels, takes a good look at my manicured toenails, licks his lips, and sniffs my shoe. Jesus Christ. Wow.
The fact that he was holding her foot, and then you could just see it like in a movie, it would be like he was about to go sniff her foot and then just completely ignores her foot to sniff the shoe.
Yes. Yeah. He licked his lip at the foot, but then just puts it over his mouth like Dennis Hopper in Blue Velvet, you know. I was throwing up in my mouth. By the way, the restaurant was full. Take care.
He had to say excuse me to somebody he went on a date with to get down.
Oh.
And get at that foot.
Take care.
He probably tripped somebody while he was down there sniffing.
Yeah, tripped, just knocked over a server. Take care and stay cool. Love, Anna. A show in Sweden coming up? ? Man, that'd be awesome. We'll keep you posted. But just know, Anna, you've now turned Josh into a person who laughs like a crazy person at an office on his own show.
This is the wildest thing about all this is I told that story.
The ventriloquist story?
The ventriloquist story when I was in Amsterdam. And the audience was so much more concerned than they were laughing. Like they found it kind of funny, but they were mostly like, what happened to her? Like, did he kill her?
Yeah. What's the punchline? She's missing now? Yeah, what's going on?
Yeah.
Oh, God. The boldness too, to finally bring it up, just be like, feet is my kinks anyway, and then just slither it down your chair like the Grinch to get to the ground.
The restaurant was full.
The restaurant
trying
was
to be
full.
Discreet, not even trying to be charming enough that you go home with him and then maybe he sees your feet because you're getting undressed. It's fully trying to be discreet right now because he can't wait. This is the other crazy thing about that is that a foot fetish is like, I remember in the 90s when we were little and you'd hear about a foot fetish and it was the weirdest thing. Like people used to like really be really weird about it.
Yeah.
That it was even a kink at all. And now it's like the bottom of the, it's just so much.
It's
more stuff and weirder stuff and like
it's basic now.
Stuff. It's super basic.
Feet's basic.
The thing that's crazy about a foot fetish versus any of the other fetishes is that just about everybody that you're gonna date has feet.
Yeah.
So you don't even need to be into. You don't even need to be into the foot fetish for yourself because the other person is just attracted to your feet. It would be a totally different thing if your foot fetish was people being into your feet. Does that make sense what I'm saying?
Kind of, but I don't know. I guess I kind of see them going together, but maybe I don't know. I'm not necessarily a feet guy. I don't know.
I'm not a feet guy either, but to me, it's like when someone's says they're.
I'm also really now hoping that the booth is not soundproofed.
Yeah,
because they're only hearing your half of it too. So she's like, I'm not a feet guy either.
I'm not a feet guy.
Thinking you're in an actual.
Listen to me. All right.
Like you're
I'm
in an
not some
actual.
foot pervert.
It looks like you're on an actual like work Zoom call and just like, listen, I'm not into feet either. All right.
The thing is, I guess this is what I'm trying to say, is that the same way that someone might be like, oh, I'm always so attracted to someone with great legs, right?
Sure. Yeah.
The person that they're attracted to who has great legs, it may not be their thing to have people want them for their legs. See what I'm saying?
Okay. I guess I hear what you're saying. Like, no matter what your kink is, you also gotta do something for their kink then.
And that's where I'm like, it seems, especially if you're not a lunatic like this guy, it seems like feet would be one of the more accessible fetishes because lots of people have feet.
Mm-hmm.
If you're into something extreme, people don't just walk around with balls and chains on them. But people got feet to get around.
Sure.
You know? And I feel like that's why it's broken through so much so that Anna wasn't even that phased. She was more phased by the fact that he was like, I'm really into feet and I have to have yours right now.
Yes. Yeah. No, that's fair. That's fair. Yeah. I was like, oh, you bring it up like, oh, okay, fine. But then it's like to then say it and then, I don't know, start drooling.
Yeah, I'm into uncomfortable feet. Are you uncomfortable right now?
Yeah, okay, that's the thing. He's not even really into feet. He's just really into social faux pas. That's what he's into.
Yeah.
He's just really into making people uncomfortable. Good Lord.
Because how would you even explain it if the food came? Would you be like, oh, I'm sorry, my wallet fell in her shoe?
And I'm going to really need a follow-up email on this of just... Because now I really want to know. I really want to know how Anna reacted. I want to know what your reaction was in that moment. Because it kind of just ends with what he did. What did you do?
Also, what did he really expect another date after that, or did you go on another date
This
after
thing
that?
I want to know. Did you just be like, oh, okay, and then I'll just get to the date, or were you like, no, nope, goodbye, sir?
Imagine a full restaurant making your date that uncomfortable, but then being so charming for the rest of the date that you win it back. That'd be an epic tale.
Exactly. So I think I think you undersold yourself as the main character of this story, Anna, because I only have questions about you and what you thought and how you reacted. Oh, let's see. Why don't you go ahead and I don't know, pick a number again, or let's go. So you've chosen number 3 already.
Number 2.
Number 2. Okay, this one is called "No Gods, No Kings, Just Piss," which I believe was something I said in an episode. And the dangers of dressing in the dark. This is from Kiki. Hello, Squeaks and Toontown. I got a chance to teach at a prestigious university that was an hour away. I was so excited I signed the contract without realizing that the class was going at 7 a.m. Who the hell wants a 7 a.m. class anyways? I never did. Needless to say, I sucked it up and got up at 5 a.m. every morning to get my classy ass up there. So I was dressing in the dark on the regs, not to wake up my family. Sometimes this would result in me having just one earring in, or maybe poorly applied eyeliner. One day that topped the charts was when I got my dress on and grabbed the belt that went with it and hopped onto the highway. As I was teaching class, I looked down and saw that, to my horror, instead of the blue belt that goes with the dress, I indeed had on a bright, sparkly green and fuzzy robe belt. It felt the same in the dark, but looked wild. I just leaned into it like I planned it, and like it was high fashion. Love, Kiki. P.S. Love me some Hold Up podcast because I get a double dose. I get it in my lungs. That's what it says.
What I love about this belt situation is that from the story, tell me if I'm wrong, but from the story, it wasn't until class started that Kiki looked down.
It sounds like class was happening, so it means every student was also being like, "Is she wearing a robe belt?"
Yeah. What I would really
like
want
a
to
robe
see,
belt.
what I would want to see happen is to teach the class and not realize that you have on a full robe with a real belt. And I don't know what Kiki's teaching, but you just fully in the middle of the lesson, and then you realize that you're a little hot in this. This is like a little stuffy. And then you look at your collar and you're like, oh no.
Oh my God. My shirt is soft as hell. What I put on?
Yeah.
Sparkly green and fuzzy robe belt. It's like, there's very little that could go with,
Yeah.
You try to think like, oh, but did you get away with it? No, everyone saw that the second they walked in. If you had a sparkly green robe belt on.
Especially, like, does a sparkly green robe belt have a buckle on it? Like, this is one of those things where I'm trying to put my mind in the same place as someone who's getting ready in the dark.
They say it felt the same in the dark, but I'm trying to think of what then belt would go with the dress. I guess there can be like just kind of
No,
quick.
yeah, you can just put
They have little
belt
sash
around.
ones kind of like that. Yeah,
but for me, here's the thing. If it felt the same in the dark, you either have some very comfy regular belts or you got a terribly made robe belt. It felt the same.
Yeah.
Oof.
Yeah, it means you got fuzzy belts. It sounds like all your belts are fuzzy, is what I'm hearing.
What I would love is if we were to get a follow-up with Kiki, and the only thing that's weird about this story to her is that it was the green one. Like, she has nothing but fuzzy belts, but then the green one did not go.
The green one. The dress was kind of green. They were just too close, but too different. Ugh. Oh, my goodness. Do you want to read one?
Yeah. So this next email is from Tasha. It's called When Your Sweet Grandmother Puts a Hit Out on You.
God, I would watch that movie.
It is just a grandma like, he owed me some money, so
Yeah.
Gonna get it one way or the other, blood in or blood out. All right.
Bring me the head of my grandson.
And I'll give you a cookie.
Oh, he's wronged me the last time. Now get something to eat. You look like you're wasting away.
You're gonna beat Grand to the grave.
She's cooking. She's over the oven, but behind her on the table is just a stack of cash.
Yeah.
This is for you if you murder my grandchild.
I want Tyler out here taking dirt naps, all right? All right.
My gift load better be a little lighter come this Christmas.
I want to save $5 that I put in the cards.
Now you go out there and do your work. And don't look at that.
Becoming Bane.
Do you feel in control?
Grandma, your shoulders.
I was born in the dark. All right, go ahead.
Yeah, I was born before light.
I still don't quite get it, and it scares me.
Yeah. Oof. I don't like all this newfangled technology you kids got with just seeing everything all the time. Y'all just be seeing all the time. Good knees. I don't like any of it.
I don't care for it. Back in our day, you just would run into some stuff at night.
No character.
It's a simpler time. It strengthened your spirit and strengthened your face.
It would actually be hilarious to have like a someone that's so old that they were born before light, so there's actually no racism back then. Like, you just couldn't see anybody.
Once lights got invested, everyone was like, ah.
Yeah. Why is everyone so different?
None of you look like the way I thought you would. I just assumed you looked like me. Back before lights, humans thought there was one face. And we all had it.
Oh God.
Anyway.
Anyway, hey, it's Tasha. I was thinking of all the beatings I've ever gotten as a child and how incredibly unjust they were. For example, my great grandmother told me not to pick up the kittens outside, but I was maybe 5 or 6, so of course I was going to. I chose a gray kitten to be mine. His name was Witchy, and I loved him. She saw me showing my affection to Witchy, and when I was in the house later, she got me with a surprise attack. She was wilded though and beat me with a switch, thin branch from a tree for people who don't know.
Yeah.
Beat me with a switch with thorns on it, which he got run over maybe 2 weeks later, and I love dogs now.
Oh God.
I've gotten multiple projectiles from my mother, which include a high heel shoe, hanger, and my own backpack. She waited until I was a teenager to slap me with the speed and finesse you see from Donnie Yen in Ip Man.
Jesus.
But it was my grandmother who got me with a phone call. Before I went outside to ride bikes with my cousins, she told me not to ride past my uncle's house. I did, of course, and peeped my aunt on my uncle's patio frowning at me, looking like she was about to snitch. When my cousins and I got to the end of our journey, we turned our bikes around only to see my aunt with a thornless switch in her hand.
Jesus.
Standing in the middle of the road waiting for me to come by.
Oh.
She was like one of those enemies you see on the map in a JRPG. Where you could choose to engage or not. While my cousins easily avoid her, I knew that me getting got that day was inevitable. So in defeat, I rolled by her slowly like it was a car wash, except I was getting lathered in pain and rinsed myself in tears. Anyway, I was wondering if either of you experienced such unnecessary familial violence in your childhood when maybe the punishment didn't fit the crime.
Man, that is genuinely a hit getting put on out on you of just like, hey, they're gonna be riding back. Go get them.
Yeah.
Oh man. And to anyone who's maybe like, it's like, we get it. Not everyone had the same type of upbringings. I had, not similar, didn't get switches. Although we did have outside my grandma's house too, they had like a weeping willow tree so I think it had been used on me before, but it wasn't like a common occurrence, but because they did that too. That's how my mom would talk about all the time. They'd have to go pick their own switch for it. So like very old timey upbringing.
Also, picking your own switch
is
one of those things that's just psychological terror.
It's just one of those things, like,
because then you bring back a flimsy one,
and they always go pick another one,
and now they're more angry.
Yeah, it's like, no matter how you feel about a spanking or whatever, I think everyone can agree of just being like, yeah, that's a bit much. That's to make them pick it is a bit much. But no, I can say I can say this as me now. I didn't get that many spankings. I know the ones I got, I probably deserved. I can say that. That the ones I got were kind of like, yeah. Yeah.
This is like, you won't see it or anything, but I remember one time, this was not my family. This is like, I was hanging out with some other kids, and their dad like rolled by and like on foot. So he walked up to us, and there's some familial thing that I knew nothing about that had gone down, where basically my friend had lied to his dad that he didn't do something he definitely did.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
But now his dad had evidence, so he sees us playing in the neighborhood and gives him one more chance to like, hey, before when you said, and it was like, I can't remember if he had stole something or whatever,
Right.
but this is a perfect. Okay, so he had asked him. I think he stole something with his cousin. And so they're both standing there. The dad's like, hey, remember when I asked you about this thing, and you said you didn't know anything about it? Well, this person says, I saw you there and blah, blah, blah. And so then he's finally like, I think in his child mind, he thinks enough time has passed. Because I used to think this as well. When enough time has passed after a bad thing has happened,
Mm-hmm.
in your mind, you're like, they can't be that mad because it didn't just
Right.
happen. This is very old.
Yeah.
So I don't know how old it was, but it was old enough for him to finally just be honest, or maybe he just knew that too much evidence was mounted against him now,
Yeah.
And so he's honest. And we had just gotten ice cream, and he had a double scoop cone in his hand, and I think we all got one scoop, but he got a double. Anyway, his dad. So as soon as he admitted that he did it, his dad slapped the ice cream cone out of his hand sideways, fast enough for it to hit his cousin in the face.
That's a good 2 for the price of 1 move there. Yeah.
And his dad just took off, but he was so frozen from how fast it happened. He was just holding air like it was still the ice cream cone. And I was like, oh, yeah, that seems like you shouldn't have lied to that dude.
Yeah.
I don't know what you stole, but now you don't have any ice cream. And his dad just left after that.
He is now taken from you.
Yeah, now he's kind of just like, oh man, how does yours taste? I was like, tastes like mine. I don't know what to tell you.
Oh man. This next one here, this is from Natalie, and it is called Hi Again. Hi again, Josh and Logan. I'm Natalie. I wrote in last year to say hi and ask some silly questions. I'm the one from the Mary John Blythe episode whose question made you start talking about Power Rangers, which I think we've done more than once, but because we're men in our 30s. I wanted to write again because something happened fairly recently that I thought you would find funny. I'm genderqueer, and recently I briefly considered changing my name. I was seriously considering calling myself Neo after the character from The Matrix because it's one of my favorite movies and has also been confirmed by the directors as a trans allegory. The funny part is, when I told my dad what I was thinking about, his main objection was that Neo is super badass, and by most standards, I'm definitely not. I just thought it was so funny that he was fine with the idea of changing my name, but thought I wasn't badass enough to call myself Neo. It stung, but in a way that still makes me laugh months later, so I thought I wanted to hear your take. I love the show. Thank you for doing what you do, Natalie. I love that story. I love that story.
It would be so funny if the dad was like, listen, you're Neo is a bit much.
Yeah.
Let's go for you like the movie Cars, right? Like just like some completely different franchise. Just something where you're like, wait, what?
Yeah.
I mean, what about Nemo? You still get the Neo,
yeah,
but like
it's in there kind of.
And it's a little bit more heartwarming. You're not like a badass person.
Yeah.
You're more of a heartwarming individual. So let's go ahead and get you Nemo in there.
Yeah.
And look, just Neo alone, you're not getting through an airport. Look at what they did security in the first movie, okay? You're going to be on a list immediately.
You're gonna have a lot of security guards who have a grudge against Neo.
TSA ain't gonna let you through.
God, that would be so good if that was true. Like any security guard anywhere saw that movie, he's like, he killed so many people just doing their jobs.
Yeah.
Because he brought guns to a place where he wasn't supposed to bring guns.
Brought all the guns.
All the guns. He brought a bag of guns and bombs and everything. He was dressed in guns. His clothes
Yeah.
was guns.
His clothes was guns. His pants was guns. Underwear
Yeah.
was guns. That's dangerous.
But that story is like weirdly one of the more heartwarming stories I've heard in a while, because it means like it means your dad really does accept you, but fully, to the point where he's like, listen, I know my kid's no badass.
Well, look. I accept you, and I see you. Sometimes feeling seen is a little too raw.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know. Real quick.
Yo.
It's I know we're almost done, but it's my granddad's birthday and my mom is calling me. I'm just gonna step out real quick.
Oh, go for it.
I'll be right back.
Cool. I can say confidently that WeWorks don't look pleasant. This is a weird interlude while he's gone. Maybe I'll cut this, but just I've never seen the inside of them. I've never been to one. Yeah, what a strange. And now like people are walking by and can just see me looking out. I'm gonna turn my camera off. I think I'm just gonna do that for a second. It feels weird that people walking by will just see me watching their office. So,
Cool.
This one is from Melissa, and the title is called Spiritual Life Tent. So, hey, Josh and Logan. I wanted to recount a story for y'all that happened to my friend Jacob in college. Jacob and I both went to American University, where there's an interfaith chapel known as K Spiritual Life Center. All you need to know about K is, one, it is unequivocally a building.
Is a bona fide building. All right. When it comes to being stacked on top of each other, building looking, is building.
It's got walls. It's got a ceiling. This is a building ass building. Okay. And two, I have never heard of anything notable going down at said building. Okay. So not only is it a building, seems to be not the place to be.
I mean, it's a punk ass building.
It sounds like it sounds like it's barely a building, to be honest.
Mm-hmm. Not even doing building things.
Yeah, I mean, if it's not doing building things, you basically a cave.
Oh, fat ass cave. Oh, wannabe building.
Fake ass building. I got 2 degrees at this school and only ever entered this building maybe twice. Well, one day, some lady approaches Jacob on the quad and says, "Excuse me, can you point me toward the K Spiritual Life Tent?" To which Jacob responded, well, the K Spiritual Life Center is right over there. The lady said, "Oh, so that's where it all went down." She starts heading in that... She starts heading in that direction and says, "Thanks, sweet cheeks," just to top it off, I guess. Jacob and I graduated without ever knowing who this lady was or what she thinks went down at said Spiritual Life Tent, but I hope she found what she was looking for. As always, thanks for the laughs and for giving me something to look forward to listening to every week. Y'all are the best. Thanks, sweet cheeks. Melissa. She wrote the saying, "Thanks, sweet cheeks" part.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
let's just go through again the moments that happened here. So the person shows up asking, "Excuse me, can you point me toward this K Spiritual Life Tent?" Which, frankly, Spiritual Life Tent is actually a great phrase because it sounds like it could be something, but if you think about it at all, it sounds like nothing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because at best it kind of sounds like, like some sort of traveling preacher situation.
Yeah.
You know,
I think that anyone who's like, "Oh, that's where it all went down," and doesn't clue you in is a bit of a monster. Like you can't just do that to someone and then go about your day.
Yeah. Oh, so that's where it all went down. That's where the incident occurred.
Don't act like we're all in the same Netflix doc with you.
Yeah.
Okay? I don't have the backstory. You need to tell me what it is that and what it is that went down and what it.
Yeah.
Help me.
Because frankly, the best case scenario, and this is a very unlikely best case scenario, the best case scenario is that this person who said, oh, that's where it all went down, they are trying to correct the mistakes of an alternate timeline. They're trying to solve some sort of multidimensional mystery. And that's your best case scenario.
Yeah. Yeah, I could see that.
And then, thanks, Sweet Cheeks, frankly dismissive. Whether you're a multidimensional time traveler or not, pretty smug.
You never catch Doctor Who saying thanks, Sweet Cheeks.
You know who would say that, though? If Captain America was real. You know, because he's from another time.
Grandpa, you can't say that. Well.
Here you go. You're welcome, Toots. And then he runs off.
Oh, man. Yeah. When you think about like Captain
I don't like that
America,
Tony Stark and his beatnik facial hair.
Yeah, like when you think of Captain America, he should be saying way wilder stuff.
I mean, it would spice up that whole universe. You know, I mean, I like Marvel movies, but goddamn, if one of the main heroes, every now and then everyone had to be like, okay, just let he's from a different time.
You can't say that now.
You can't say that, but
also, we've invented TV.
But we are also fighting an alien gods. I don't have time to tell you this right now, Cap.
Yeah. Cap just walking back into headquarters like, I can't go back to Wakanda. Said some stuff and everybody got mad at me.
I like you, Sam Wilson. You're one of the good ones.
Yeah. Why is it every time I talk, people say, what's that supposed to mean?
The future's stupid. No one gets what I'm saying.
You know what I mean? Acting like I'm the bad guy. How can I be bad?
Listen,
I'm Captain America. America's never done anything bad.
Never done anything bad. Listen, I was ready to punch Hitler, and then boom, I'm here. So, like, I'm not a bad guy.
I literally punched Hitler in the face.
I punched
think that gives me a couple passes.
Are you kidding me? You can't say anything anymore. We were all equally mad at Thanos. Everyone just kept being mad at me for making it about it being purple. Like, everyone. But, like, they wanted to kill him, too.
It would be a very specific argument to be like, Thanos kills half your family. And you're like, see, these purple Ooh, whoa. Wait,
we need to not. Come on.
Guys, he killed half the universe. I think you get a
We're meeting so many aliens now, so like it's hard to know. Let's just
and not all the purple aliens are the same as
they're
Thanos.
not.
You just
so
you don't really.
Well, you know, Vision we made in that pod there. He's not going to heaven. Okay, all right.
I'm just saying, Vision's gonna burn in hell.
I'm not gonna take no back.
He's an abomination.
I'm not gonna take no back talk from a soulless robot.
You think you can just lift the hammer and all of a sudden you're important? Okay, you're nothing. And I'm not a racist for saying that. I really hope these walls are paper thin. I'm not into feet. I'm not a feet guy, and I'm not racist for saying that.
You're gonna leave. I don't know. Is there a front desk at WeWork? Do you have somewhere where you check in?
Yeah, there is.
Okay.
Not you don't have to check out. So I'm already in. So
okay,
well, that's a mistake.
I was gonna say if you walk by, then they should be like, "Hey, by the way, you can't come back.
Give us back the card.
Give us back the card. We don't we don't condone whatever it is you do here."
I don't know what kind of perverted racism you were engaged in.
I don't know. Sort of. whatever racist kink podcast you're doing in there.
I really don't like it.
I don't like it, and we don't want you to record it here.
And the eighth of it that we heard was disgusting.
Yeah.
So what was that last one you wanted?
I'll go one more. This is another one. This is from our buddy D, and this one's titled "Early Hunneds." He's got some notes on not notes, but questions or follow-ups on some of our episodes after episode 100. So, dear Logan and Josh too, I guess. Wow, D really creating a ranking there. I had some thoughts about the last few episodes. I'm going to try to go through them rapid fire. Episode 100, Logan, quote, "Nice thick gravy is a better nickname than Squeaks." I'd shorten it to just gravy or maybe grave to sound more street. Yeah, I don't, is gravy better though? I don't know. Logan, I mean, I guess
you hated Squeaks so much, every word is better than Squeaks.
That's true. I didn't like Squeaks very much. It's grown on me a little bit, but although now that I say, when you put all three of them together, Logan, Gravy, Nielsen, I do like that quite a bit actually. But only just gravy by itself, not really. But Logan, Gravy, Nielsen, I'm kind of into. So, dear Toontowns and Logan, Gravy, Nielsen. Josh is just shaking his head. Episode 102, your soda store idea reminded me of the frozen yogurt shops where you load up your own bowl with as much yogurt and toppings as you can handle and then pay by the weight. I think Lil Joshy's soda fountain sounds like yet another cash cow just waiting to be milked. We do have like a lot of franchises we're ready to start with this show, whether it's restaurants or summer camps, whatever it is.
A lot of useful IP.
A lot of untapped potential here. Hit me up when you're looking for investors. I want a cherry root beer flavored named after me. Okay, done. That's what we'll give to our angel investors there. Episode 103, Scare B&B, was a fire pun, and I think Josh only acts like he dislikes Logan's puns. Deep down, he knows how happy it makes Logan to see him annoyed, and he's being a good friend. That's real love, my guy. Yeah, I like that interpretation, that Josh, he gives a bad reaction because he loves me too much.
Well, that's not what it is, so.
See, but that's exactly what you'd say in the character because you're just trying to make me feel good. I like this. We'll go with this, and Josh seems to like it too. It seems to be what his intention is, and we found it out, right, Josh? You just love me so much that you.
It's not really that at all.
You like the puns, and you like me more.
No,
but
you should probably not say that.
Okay, that is real love. Also, during Josh's story about hanging out with the old lady and going to CVS, I kept waiting for her to tell Josh, "Ain't nobody been to the moon. That's a scam." Like the Uber driver from Lil Joshy is kidnappable. That's it. Hope you're good. G's 90% recovered from his injury for the motorcycle accident. We still listen to the pod sometimes. I like this. This sentence is perfect. My mom refuses to learn your names and just calls you the funny guys. You know, the black one and the loud one.
That's amazing. Wow.
Peace, D. Thank you for that, D.
The refuses is
refuses is interesting. Refuses to learn our names is an interesting twist.
Knowing that by now you probably should know them, and then refusing is a real boss move.
Yeah, the black one and the loud one. I do think if we ever change the name of this show, I think we found it.
Yeah, 100%. Easily.
The black one and the loud one.
The black one and the loud one is probably the best name that we could come up with if we had all the time in the world.
I think so. Well, it honestly, too, we're not selling, we're not short selling anyone. That you're at least going to get that. Mm-hmm. There's going to be a black guy and a guy that's too loud.
There will be one of each.
Well, it's probably a good place to wrap it up, huh? Close up the mailbag.
Yeah. Thank you so much for listening to the Josh Johnson Show. We had a great time recording. I hope you had a great time listening. I know that a WeWork is not ideal, and if it's up to me, this will never happen again. If you're looking to catch up with us on any of the socials, you can find me at Josh Johnson Comedy on Instagram, at Josh Johnson on Twitter, Josh J Comedy on Facebook, and Josh Johnson Comedy on TikTok and YouTube, where we're going to be posting clips of the show. And if you're looking for Logan,
you can follow me on Instagram at Logan M. Nielsen. And if you want to get into the mailbag, like all of those wonderful people that we just read messages from, you can email us, joshjohnsonshow@gmail.com. You can also leave us 5-star reviews on Apple Podcasts. We like to read those too, and it helps the show, help us get a little more visibility. And I don't know if you feel like you've listened to the show a bunch and I just want some more. Why don't these guys have more content? Well, we do. It's over on Patreon, patreon.com/Josh Johnson Show. We have other podcasts there and video stuff. And we post videos of the live virtual shows that we're doing, which we'll probably be having one coming up soon.
So until next time, everybody, have a great weekend, and don't record at a WeWork.